Can you believe this? A military leader pulling 8,000 fighters off the battlefield to farm? That's exactly what Burkina Faso's Ibrahim Traoré has done. Why would he make such a shocking move? And what does it mean for the future of his war-torn country? Let's dive into this bold decision and find out. When we talk about independence, there's this war we're waging, of course, but independence is also about what we consume. One of our biggest battles? Food self-sufficiency. That's why last year, we didn't just want to come and give speeches. We wanted to dig deep to understand the rooted problems of Burkina's agriculture and find real solutions. Can we actually be self-sufficient in food? That's the question we asked ourselves. And guess what? We got all the answers we needed because we experimented with so many things in 2023. We launched the Presidential Initiative for Art, Agriculture, and Food Self-Sufficiency with the Minister of Agriculture. And then we kicked off the agricultural offensive at the Yendi of the Year. Welcome to Code of the Lion, your source for insightful news, analysis, and thoughtful commentary. If you value informed perspectives and fact-based reporting, be sure to subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss an update. Disclaimer: the content on this channel is based on reliable public sources and credible online information. It's strictly for educational and analytical purposes. We do not promote or endorse political violence, hate speech, or any form of discrimination. Our goal? To inform, not to inflame. Thanks for being here. Let's stay informed together. In an unprecedented move aimed at restoring peace and stability to his war-torn country, the new military leader of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré, has done something jaw-dropping. He's deployed 8,000 of his fighters to farmlands. Yes, you heard that right. This bold initiative comes after their recent victory over militant groups in the north of the country. But why would a military leader, known for his tough stance against militants, divert his soldiers away from combat to farming? And what impact will this have on the ongoing fight against the militants? Join us as we explore the reasons behind Ibrahim Traoré's decision to send his soldiers to the farms and the potential consequences of this move. Why is Ibrahim Traoré redirecting his fighters to agriculture? What challenges do these fighters face as they transition from the battlefield to the farmlands? And how will this move affect the ongoing fight against militants in Burkina Faso? Traoré seized power in a coup last September, promising to restore security in the face of worsening jihadist and ethnic violence. He then launched a military campaign in December against the militants in the north, which culminated in the expulsion of extremists from several northern towns. Now, with his victory over militants, Traoré has turned his attention to reviving the agricultural sector, which has been neglected due to the ongoing conflict. The security situation in the Sahel region of Burkina Faso has improved significantly since Traoré came to power. But despite the progress, the country still faces many security challenges. The northern part of the country remains volatile, with various militant groups operating in the area. And yet, Traoré has decided to take a bold step by deploying 8,000 of his fighters to farmlands to help revive the agricultural sector. This move has raised eyebrows among many who are wondering why the military leader would divert his fighters away from the battlefields to the farmlands. But the decision isn't as puzzling when you consider the dire state of Burkina Faso's agriculture sector. In recent years, the country has faced a food security crisis due to the ongoing conflict in the north. This has led to a sharp decline in agricultural production, with many farmers abandoning their fields and fleeing to safer areas. As a result, Burkina Faso has become increasingly reliant on food aid from international organizations, like the World Food Program. In addition to the security situation, other factors have contributed to the decline of agriculture in Burkina Faso. These include a lack of access to modern farming technologies, insufficient irrigation infrastructure, and a rapidly growing population that's putting pressure on land resources. The COVID-19 pandemic has also had a significant impact on the agricultural sector, with disruptions to supply chains and a decrease in demand for agricultural products. Recognizing the importance of agriculture to the country's economy and food security, Traoré has made it a priority to revive the sector since taking power. His government has introduced a number of measures to support farmers, including providing them with access to credit, fertilizers, and other inputs. But these measures haven't yielded the desired results, as the country still faces a food security crisis. That's why Traoré has decided to take a more drastic step by deploying 8,000 of his fighters to farmlands. He believes that, with the security threat in the north somewhat contained, he can redirect some of his soldiers to support the agricultural sector. This is a bold move, as it involves taking fighters away from the front lines and redeploying them to a completely different task. It remains to be seen whether this will have any positive impact on the fight against militants. Ibrahim Traoré is a former soldier who rose to the rank of captain before leading a group of soldiers in a coup that ousted the country's former president, Paul-Henri Damiba. Traoré came to power promising to restore security and stability to the country, which has been plagued by jihadist attacks in recent years. He has since launched a military campaign against the militants in the north of the country, which has resulted in the expulsion of extremists from several towns. Despite his success in the military campaign, Traoré faces many challenges, including the need to revive the country's agriculture sector, which has suffered due to the ongoing conflict. That's why he's decided to mobilize 8,000 of his fighters to the farmlands to help farmers. This is an unprecedented move in the country's history, and it will be interesting to see how it plays out. The deployment of the fighters to the farmlands is part of a broader effort by the government to support the agricultural sector. The government has also provided farmers with access to credit, fertilizers, and other inputs. However, this hasn't yielded the desired results, as the country still faces a food security crisis. The use of soldiers for farming purposes is not common in Burkina Faso or most countries around the world. Traditionally, the military is responsible for defending the country's borders and protecting its citizens from external threats. While some countries may have military farms that provide food for soldiers, it is rare for an entire army to be deployed to the farmlands. However, the security situation in Burkina Faso is unique. The country has been battling jihadist groups in the north and the center for many years. This has resulted in the displacement of thousands of people and a sharp decline in agricultural production. With a recent victory over militants, Traoré has a window of opportunity to address the country's food security crisis. He's taking advantage of this by deploying his fighters to farmlands. Despite the challenges they face, the fighters are reportedly excited about the opportunity to learn new skills and contribute to the country's development. Many of them have never farmed before, and they're eager to learn from the experienced farmers in the communities where they've been deployed. The government's decision to deploy soldiers to the farmlands has been met with mixed reactions. Some people have praised the move as a creative solution to the country's food security crisis. Others have criticized it as a waste of resources and a distraction from the fight against the militants. Only time will tell whether this bold experiment will succeed in reviving agriculture in Burkina Faso. It's important to note that while the use of soldiers for farming purposes is unusual, it's not without precedent. In some countries, soldiers are trained in agricultural techniques, and they're able to transition smoothly to farming when the need arises. Additionally, the use of soldiers for farming purposes can free up resources for other sectors of the economy. When soldiers are deployed to the farmlands, they can help increase agricultural production, which can, in turn, lead to economic growth. This can also help alleviate poverty and improve the standard of living for people. It's clear that Ibrahim Traoré is a leader who's willing to take bold steps to address the challenges facing his country. The deployment of 8,000 fighters to the farmlands is a risky move that could have significant implications for the country's future. Only time will tell whether this experiment will succeed in reviving agriculture in Burkina Faso and bringing lasting peace to the country. What do you think of Ibrahim Traoré's decision to deploy his fighters to the farmlands? Do you think this is a wise move or a dangerous distraction? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more insightful content. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video. It's hard to imagine a military leader making a move like this, but that's exactly what Ibrahim Traoré has done. He's taken 8,000 of his fighters off the battlefield and put them to work in the fields. But why would he do something like this? And what does it mean for the future of Burkina Faso? One possible explanation for Traoré's actions is that he recognizes the importance of agriculture in the country's economy. Around half of the population works in agriculture, and it's a vital source of income for many families. By investing in the sector, Traoré could be trying to improve the lives of ordinary Burkinabe. Another reason for the move could be that Traoré wants to send a message to the militants. He's showing that even when his fighters are not directly engaged in combat, they're still working to improve the country. This could be seen as a challenge to the militants and a demonstration of Traoré's commitment to defeating them. Whatever the motivation behind the move, it's clear that Traoré is not afraid to think outside the box. He's willing to take risks and make bold decisions to improve the situation in his country. This could be a sign of the kind of leadership that Burkina Faso needs to end the conflict with the militants and build a brighter future. Only time will tell how successful Traoré's gamble will be. But one thing is for sure. He's a leader who's not afraid to take bold risks in the face of impossible odds. As the 8,000 fighters hit the farmlands, a new chapter begins in Burkina Faso's fight against the militants. It's a bold move that could change the course of the conflict and bring hope to a nation that's been torn apart by violence. Will this strategy help end the conflict, or will it backfire and put the country in more danger? Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure, Ibrahim Traoré is a leader who's not afraid to try something new when the old ways aren't working. With the fate of the nation hanging in the balance, the world watches to see if this farming revolution will lead to peace or further unrest. One thing is certain, though. The story of Ibrahim Traoré is just beginning, and the coming months will be critical in determining the future of Burkina Faso and its people. As reactions continue pouring from across the continent, one thing is clear. Africa is demanding respect, sovereignty, and accountability. Was this just a diplomatic misstep, or a deeper sign of shifting global alliances? We'll be watching closely. If you found this story important, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real, unfiltered African news. This is Talk of Code of the Lion, telling the stories that matter